Anything else you want to report to Anthony? Let him know. I'll close back. Okay. Okay, folks. Are we ready to report out? Okay, we'll give you 30 more seconds. Okay, folks. We got to start doing some of the report out because we want to get you to an amazing panel as well. So, who might be ready to report out first? Is it Anthony in group 2? I think it's 2. Anthony, oh, I need to give you a mic. Hold on. You can use mine. You'll be next. Okay.
Okay.
Some, Sure, absolutely. Okay, groups.
This is Anthony from Pontiac, Michigan.
Yes, thank you. As our great facilitator has already introduced me, thanks for coming and staying out for the second half. As we were going through our group discussions, we came up and we had determined a lot of challenges that residents and the youth face as they try to seek employment or seek these contracts that may be available. There's a lot out there.
Can folks hear Anthony? This is what my kid uses when we're supposed to be. Okay, we want to give Anthony the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that. Now, as I was saying, with some of the challenges that we had identified, one of them certainly was getting connected, and that was being connected to employment and the possibilities that are offered through HUD. This is for the youth build and also for residents. Another one was life skill challenges. You know, a lot of times as we are going to seek employment, we're losing benefits, you know, SSI, and those things of the nature. I would hate to have to be seeking employment and then losing the benefits that is helping me to get that employment. So these are some of the life skill challenges that we face as residents. Transportation, that was another one, both for the youth and for residents. It's hard to get around if you don't or cannot afford the means to get transportation. So we were seeing that as another great challenge. We also identified that the digital divide, that's a huge challenge as well. So much things is at the palm of your hands, but you don't always know how to rightfully use those things so that you can get to the information that you need. So that was another challenge. And then the last challenge that we had identified was our mindset. Sometimes you're dealing with folks who have been in this space of not being able to be employed or having their own for so long that their mind is not fully, positive enough to where they feel that they have a chance. So that was another challenge that we were facing. So the solution to those, this was a fast-paced 30 minutes. We had so many great discussions. Only got a few of the solutions, but the solutions that I got were really good. For the youth build, regarding the getting connected, a lot of them go through the DHS, the Detroit Housing Commissioner. They do a lot with the residents and having employers actually come to the residency and speak to the various residents about jobs that are available. There are other programs that certainly seek the youth out, and as they go through school, and they make sure they have the right licenses, the right skill sets that they need to have in order to be employable. Regarding the sense of what we need in the digital divide, we have groups that are already providing free internet, and they're starting to promote classes for computer courses. And they're not just like, computers in a community set where you go down to a place and, you have it, but they're actually putting computers in the units of the individual residents. So they are working with a company that is installing internet into each unit so that that person in their own home can access the internet, or in their own home will have their own computer. That's something that they're working towards. And then last, another one where we have steps for success. And this is for the residents to show that they can get out of the programs that they're in. I mean, it's to show them what they can get out of the programs that are being provided to them, so that their fear of that life challenge of losing that SSI or whatever other government benefit that they have, that they can see, well, through your employment, as you consistently stay with the things that you're doing, you're going to grow within your company so that you don't have to worry about getting or needing another government support system, that you can do fully and completely without it. And then the exposure for the other program was that for the mindset, we want to have exposure. When we can expose our residents to things that they had not thought of, whether it's different jobs or different activities, then their minds begin to open up and say, wow, I didn't know I could knit. Oh, wow, I didn't know I could put a birdhouse together. But that's through the exposure, whether it's from horticulture or through carpentry. These things will help them. So they have a focus-driven program for employment that also leads to empowerment of women and other people who are going through the program, and this is to lead them into entrepreneurship. So these are some of the things that we found as solutions that are out there, and these are the challenges that we met in our group.
Okay, Anthony, that was an excellent recap, and I didn't know if you'd get to that empowerment, but you did. All right, Chris?
Fidel, where did you go? Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Fidel's with 180 Church.
Yes, my name is Fidel Gibson. What challenges does the residents have? The number one agenda was funding. We can solve our problem immediately if we have funding. We can work out the paperwork, we can do everything else, but without the funding, how can anything be possible? 2, access. Access meaning to our local HUD that's already been here. We got to hold you guys accountable, because prior to HUD coming from all around the United States coming here, you guys never ever came to our community and asked us our concern. More business from Section 8 out the resident, not workers, contractors. Not workers, contractors. We can hire our kids, our families, and our friends to work for us, but we need to be owners. And that's what Section 3 said. We need a percentage of those to be contractors, not workers. Also, world community contractors to pay their workers, when they do hire us, a fair share of work. Strategies. We need someone in the community to represent us. Since our local HUD has failed to do that, I advocate for Pastor Sue, Ramon Jackson, and some of these ladies and gentlemen that's sitting here to this day. We also need face-to-face, quarterly check-ins, once-a-month check-ins, partnerships, what will be the office hours, and sorry, y'all can't even read my own writing.
You're doing great.
And just to go over different subjects every time that we meet. This is a very, very important agenda. Again, to my local HUD authorities, you guys have let us down. You all guys are breaking the law. You need to be held accountable.
Thank you, Fidel.
Thank you for that recap and also the ownership, mentioning that as well and making sure that it's ownership of businesses, not just workers. I know that will resonate with me. Michaela, your group.
All right. So we have 2 volunteers to talk about their experience. So who's starting with challenges? All right.
How you doing? My name is David Garrett Jr. from the Youth Build program. And I say our main challenges for the residents would be, like I said, piggyback off of him, would be funding, most definitely. Will be funding. And I want to say, I'm a little nervous for sure, but I want to be happy to be here.
You're
for sure.
doing great. And do they give out the GOAT t-shirts when you're a part of Youth Build? If not, they should.
But the main challenges for the residents is for sure, we got to be able to get our credentials to be able to have this type of work. Everybody probably know about it, but don't have the documentation to stand on it. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to say making sure everybody got their ducks in a row to make sure they can even be in the Section 3 working. So.
Lift up. Thank you.
How y'all doing again? I'm the kid, and I'm speaking on the strategies. I'm also from the Youth Build program. And
Okay.
it says,
Looking for your t-shirt, but yes.
I'm sorry. But
Looking
it
forward
also
to the
says,
strategies. Thank you.
What strategies could grants basically, more dots to make Section 3 opportunities accessible to the residents? And basically, I just feel like, more expanding of the free skilled trades that, the resident or the housing offer. I'm sorry, I think I'm too loud. But I just feel like, if they can expand, like prime example, how we have Youth Build here, not only like by Youth Build doing what they doing, offering skilled trades and credentials to, young people within the resident and the homes, we can also bring more like skilled trades or, free courses to help people earn their credentials to, also be able to be in the Section 3, I'm sorry, I'm nervous. But
No, that's excellent. That's
pretty
excellent.
much.
That was a good recap to kind of connect some dots because you really need somebody to connect the dots and to help you usher through the entire process because you're starting Youth Build, but you need to grow your career. So I heard you loud and clear, sir. Tira.
All right, we have Paulette.
Hi. So I'm a little nervous, y'all, but so I come from the Diggs community, and I've also been speaking with someone from the Inkster community.
You don't mind just speaking up just a wee bit. I know the microphone, everyone doesn't like their own voice, okay? Maybe somebody does, but I don't. Just speak up a little bit.
On behalf of DHC Community Diggs, I will say that I've been seeing them step up a lot. What I will say is I've watched a lot of several times where the ball has been dropped. I'm thankful for the Wi-Fi systems being entered in every household. However, certain issues we are surrounded by employment. We live in the Eastern Market District. Downtown is no more than 7 minutes away. However, there's so many issues with job employment over there in that area is ridiculous. I can't fathom how somebody is driving 20 miles away to come to that area and work when there's so many people in the community willing to do so. They have been stepping up with their training programs. A major issue is transportation, community rooms that nobody could enter, and computer rooms that nobody can have access to. On behalf of Inkster community, same issues, limited resources, learning that their finding is way below our level. Transportation, people having effort, same thing with computer rooms and community places that aren't able to use. That's pretty much it.
All right, we have time for one more report out, and then we're going to get our panelists. If you can meet me at the front and you're a panel member, please do.
Good afternoon. My name is Nancy Sanford from Inkster Housing Commission, and we have our residents here from Inkster Housing as well as Detroit. And so just listen to everybody put in their 2 cents in regard to the challenges that we're having. Like she said, transportation, language barriers, lack of relationships with prime contractors. You know, contractors come in to the sites, and sometimes you don't know who they are, you know, and there's no communication. So they were concerned about that. Registering for job training, um, and just building those kind of relationships and being trained and getting certifications. You know, earlier today we talked about being qualified. The one lady was saying you should be qualified, but someone else said, how do you get qualified if you don't get training? Training is very important. The strategies we came up with was improve outreach awareness by communicating, conduct door-to-door walks in the community, outreach. Sometimes one-on-one is best. You know, you talk to people on the phone or by internet or text and things like that, but sometimes face-to-face is good. Ensure residents, I'm like him, I can't read my own writing, know about the Section 3. Like the gentleman said earlier, you did a good job too. He learned in a matter of minutes, 2 hours, but he was able to determine and tell you what Section 3 was about. So making sure that we understand Section 3, working together as a team. There's no small and there's no big. We just work together and make it happen. And then also being aware of the jobs that's being put out and contracts before they're awarded, right? You need to know who you're working with. Residents have a say. It's important that you guys have a say, attending meetings and being in the know and not allowing someone to tell you, well, this is what's going to happen, and having your input.
Really one quick thing, as she said, my name is Yvonne Moore. I am from Inkster Housing. I'm resident council of Inkster Housing. And the biggest thing for us is that communication. I heard that over and over, but the communication is the biggest part in having in-house training programs come in, because our kids, they don't have a daycare. Our adults don't have a daycare to take their kids. They can't go down to Wayne State to get their GED, and they don't have anywhere to leave their kids. So that's the biggest point right there. They are willing, but they just need to get that extra help. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I just want to lift up that communication piece that you're just asking to know, like, who are these businesses, right, that are offering the job training to residents, and also saying one-on-one. People want to be seen. People want, like, to dialogue, and it's similar to what we talked about in group 2 as well, which is they need to see others who are doing something similar as well to, like, emulate, you know, their own experience and share that, like our goats did in the middle. So one last thing from group 1, they seem to be adding one last thing. Was it you? Oh, sorry, Gary. My dad's name is Gary. I love it. Do you?
Yeah, great name, great name. Real quick, folks, we just wanted to address a few strategies, one of which we heard, create opportunity workshops monthly, and then also convene monthly locally, but then convene those quarterly by region, create a board of future workforce opportunities. So when we know these jobs are coming down the pipeline, we've already discussed them. We already have folks that are trained and certified for them. Streamline how projects move through that pipeline. And then last but not least, address the elephant in the room. These systems were created through systemic racism, whether that be through the trades, whether that be through redlining, whether that be through freeways coming through these communities. 83% of the construction workforce in Michigan is white men, and it's a huge opportunity to utilize this Section 3 tool to correct some of those injustices. Oh, wrong one. Oh, you take it.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Gary. All right, we're going to switch over into the panel. I really appreciate hearing everybody's concerns and strategies and challenges. We've been taking notes and gathering that, and that'll be brought all over to HUD when we finish the final report. Tiara, go ahead.
All right, so now we are going to start our panel discussion, and we are going to cover 4 themes. Challenges, so hearing perspectives from our partners on what they're seeing as it pertains to workforce development and business development. Opportunities, where there are opportunities to partner with residents, with community members, with community partners around strengthening the pipeline to jobs and training opportunities. And then also hearing best practices for collaboration. And then lastly, we'll end with resources. So what resources are out there and then how residents can get connected to them. So I'm gonna start off by thanking our panel members for being here today. I appreciate you. And I am going to have each one of our panelists introduce themselves, say your name, your role, the organization you're with, and just provide us a 1-sentence description of what your organization does. And we'll start with Stephanie.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today and providing me the opportunity to be here with my fellow presenters. Stephanie Beckhorn. I work for the Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. I have the pleasure of leading the Office of Employment and Training. We administer the majority of the federal and state workforce development programs, but we do not do that alone. We work very closely with our local Michigan Works agencies, our adult education providers, our vocational rehabilitation programs, and our 2-year and 4-year universities, along with labor organizations, all with the goal of helping individuals, youth age 14 to no upper limit in age, helping individuals remove barriers. Really, quite frankly, I was glad to be able to hear the last presentation and some of the challenges and the solutions that you were offering, because there's a lot of alignment. At the end of the day, we're helping individuals remove barriers, whether that be transportation, childcare, access to literacy skills, high school diploma, helping individuals remove those barriers so that they can, 1, obtain employment, and 2, retain that employment. And we, again, don't do that alone, but we administer about 40 different programs in every county in the state and work really closely with our local partners here in Detroit. So thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. You know, it's a little nervous up here. We're glad we got some participation. I am Daphne Epps. I'm the Director of Youth Services for Mott Community College under the Workforce and Economic Development Division. There where we offer short-term trainings, employability training. Specifically for this format, I oversee the 8 different youth programs, specifically Youth Bill, for this particular format. Hi. Okay, I was just checking.
Good afternoon. My name is Lakita Henderson. I'm the District Director for the Small Business Administration for the state of Michigan. And what we do is we help businesses start, grow, expand, and recover.
All right, could we have Kathleen? You want to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. My name is Kathleen LaValliere. I'm a project director through the Division of Workforce and Economic Development at Mott Community College. I oversee several of our training programs and our grant initiatives through our division, but specific to today, I have the pleasure of overseeing our Section 3 program at the college, and we are the clearinghouse for Flint and Genesee County. So more to come on that, but super happy to be here this afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
Dana, and then Leah, and then we'll turn it over to Ramon. Did I say your name correctly? And then the pastor, before we get started into the questions.
All right, good afternoon. And because we're here in Detroit, I feel like I should say what up, though. And I also feel like I should say, because of where I am, it is good to be in the house of the Lord one more time. So my name is Dana Williams. I have the honor of leading the Detroit at Work system here in the city. I am the local counterpart to what my partner Stephanie was describing, what happens at the state. We operate 8 Detroit at Work career centers in partnership with all kinds of community organizations. We're the first stop for employment, training, and barrier removal, or what we call job retention resources for Detroiters in the city. No one is more than 3 miles away from help. And we also have the opportunity to connect with other system partners like a HUD, like the homeless system, like the healthcare system, like the education system. All that is our responsibility, and I think we'll talk about those resources a bit later. Glad to be with you here this afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Leah Gordon. I am the Community Relations Director for the Michigan Regional Council of Carpenters and Millwrights. And what we do at the Carpenters Union, essentially, we train floor layers, carpenters, and millwrights. We build your skyline.
My name is Ramon Jackson. I'm the political minister at 180 Church. I don't think it's one person in this country that have taught Section 3 to more people than I. I've been teaching Section 3 all across the city for over a decade and all through Black America. My objective is to make sure that the tax money that the African Americans, the Black Americans put into the tax pot, they get their fair share. And what we do is we teach a practical way of looking at politics. We teach people how to go from a donor to a shareholder. And most people don't know that either you are a donor or you a shareholder. You make that pick. Thank you.
Wow. You can give it up. I mean, you should be doing a lot better. Come on, let's give it up for the advocate, Ramon Jackson. He's my political mentor. He's the political minister here at 180 Church. When President Trump came here for his birthday weekend and sat where I'm sitting right now, he came and he taught me everything that you're gonna learn today about Section 3. Let me tell you this, especially if you came from a low income housing place, you are the most important person in this nation for anyone that gets tax monies to do development. I need you to hear me. A Section 3 concerned business says you all should be 51% owners. Are you listening to me? That means if the government, when Washington writes a check and it comes to the state and it gets to the municipality, Detroit gets about $130 million. Think about that number. Those Section 3 concerned businesses, 25% of those resources should be contracted with people that are getting Section 8 so they can come off of government assistance. So they can no longer get a hand out, but a hand up. And that's why we're here today. Come on now. We're here to make sure that our community comes out of poverty. That's what this is about. Young men, come up here. Come up here. The young guys, come on, up in the front row. Sit next to Fu. I want them to sit next to you. Come up here. Come on now, you too. This is about you. I can be doing a lot of stuff, yup. I can be doing a lot of stuff today. Come on now, come right up here. You're the shareholders. You're the shareholders. Okay, we can have a young lady come up too. Yeah, you're smart. Come up. Yes. So that's why we're doing this. In order for you to be able to get the education that you need to know that you can be a Section 3, not just worker. We're not just talking about Section 3 workers. We're talking about Section 3 businesses. When you're a Section 3 business owner, when you get government funding, you're supposed to be a Section 3 business. That means 51%. Do you know what 51% means? That means you're in control. Are you hearing me today? So that's what this is about, more than anything. And I thank God for HUD coming out. I thank God for our president, that he was willing to do something like this so we can be able to get the resources that we need for our community. That's what this is about. Thank you so much for being here. We're very humbled, and we're believing that when we walk out of this place in about an hour, at 4 o'clock we're walking out. When we walk out of this place, that everybody will be inspired from this community, not just to be a worker, but to be a business owner. Come on now, if you believe that, put your hands together. Give your great God great glory.
Thank you. Testing. Thank you, Pastor. Let's get started because we don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to ask each of our panelists to, from your perspective, share what challenges you have been seeing in the community with folks trying to access employment and training opportunities, as well as challenges they have with developing their own businesses. If you could just share two so that we can work through, continue to ask you some questions, because I'm sure people will have questions for you at the end, that would be great. So whoever wants to start, maybe I'll start with Stephanie. I hate to call you out, but
Happy to start again. Yeah, I think when we talk about challenges that we see and wanting to make sure that our policies and our funding is addressing those challenges, and again, I'm going to feel a little bit like a broken record because I think you're spot on some of the challenges you identified. First is awareness. So thank you. You don't know what you don't know. And so the first thing is I can tell you about all the great programs that Dana has, but I won't because she's going to. But that doesn't matter if you don't know about them, you don't know how to access them. And then the next challenge we face, right, is let's say you do know, you have in your corner someone who is educating you, but now you have to get there. And now you have to figure out how am I gonna physically get there? God bless you for saying to 20 miles away, like, no, that's not acceptable. How do we take the resources and take the services to the individual and to the person? And so we are trying to implement some programs that say, awareness, educate, and every single one of you in this room has a task when you leave here. You need to talk about this. You are gonna walk out here with your education, and you don't need to know it all though, because guess what? What you don't remember or you forget, you know who you're going to come back to and say, I have follow-up questions. Around the dining room table, around the community event that you're on, coaches, particularly for our youth, coaches in sports, like we need to talk there and educate there. You're doing great on the field, let's do great off the field as well. We all have an opportunity to say, there are entities and organizations in your community that can help you access trainings, programs, and resources. This is one, and this is why we're here today. So please become an advocate. Please become someone that talks about it. But know there's more and additional resources, because just knowing about HUD Section 3 isn't going to get everyone to become that owner, to become that entrepreneur. There are other resources and partners, and we're all sitting up here to help you break down any barrier you encompass to kind of get over and get to that next step. So we do have some specific programs that we run at the state level that our local Michigan Works agencies, Detroit at Work runs, to help you get access to those resources.
Dana, would you be willing to follow up with some ideas there?
Got it. Thank you. Had to enlist my old praise team skills there. All right. So, yes, absolutely. As the local resource, Detroit at Work is your connector to all those kinds of things. We're not necessarily the ones providing all of the services. We contract with so many community organizations that you all know already very much to do that. But I can tell you, top 3 challenges for Detroiters to be able to get into employment, training, or to becoming a solid business owner are: 1, housing, which we all know. The second is transportation, which Stephanie also just lifted. The third is childcare, which we all know, again, not just specifically here in Detroit, that's really a national issue. Those certainly are the 3 that we see for folks coming into our centers where they need our help. So we can absolutely connect them to a local childcare provider. We can connect them to a discounted passes for DDOT. We can sometimes provide free Lyft rides if you need that first leg up to that job or that training you're going to. We can connect you to resources with housing at the city or with Rocket or many others, depending on what it is. But essentially, we become that connector for community and for businesses. We sometimes forget about that too, because good business owners care about their employees. And so business owners can also reach out to us and say, I got this challenge with 2 of my employees. How do I help? We're also here to step in there for you. And the fourth, that kind of is an undercurrent to everything else that's going on, y'all, it's mental health. Because if you don't have yourself right, you can't do anything else right. And that can't start a business, can't go to school, can't go to work. So we're also doing some innovative things and just trying to help people and do some career coaching in different ways to help us, very honestly, get over ourselves and get out of our own way so that we can progress into what our purpose is supposed to be. So again, I can talk about other resources, but I think that was the first start here. So happy to pass it on.
Thank you, Dana. Is there anyone else who wanted to speak towards challenges for a few minutes, and then we're going to move on to talking about opportunities?
I just want to piggyback off of what Dana and Stephanie said. The three of us are great partners. And so when you think about the MRCC and how they address challenges, the gentleman earlier today said, you know, we didn't have access to unions. I can't speak for every other building trade, but I can speak for the Carpenters Union, right? We opened the doors. There's several different ways for you to come in. You don't have to get a sponsor. You don't have to know somebody to know somebody. You walk in that front door, you say you want to be a carpenter, floor layer, and millwright, and we will put you on our application portal. And every quarter, we bring in anywhere from 80 to 100 new apprentices. Of those 80 to 100, 40% are Detroit residents. I'm proud to say that we are the only trade that are in compliance with the city ordinance for bringing on Detroit residents. So when we, talk about strategies and what are those pain points, right? Not only did the MRCC double down and say we're gonna build our new school in the city, we're gonna open our doors and change the way that we bring on people, but we also are gonna look at our apprentices not just as workers, but as people. And they actually hired me specifically to help apprentices with barrier relief. That is my sole job. My job is to make sure that once that apprentice comes in the door, they walk out a journeyman or woman, right? So I do that by partnering with Dana, by partnering with Stephanie, by making sure that we're able to build programs that address things like transportation, housing, childcare. And I'm that person. I am your career counselor, advocate, social worker, whatever. I ain't gonna say pastor, but but I am that person that 1,600 people come to for resources, because it's not just in the city of Detroit that I serve. I'm a statewide employee. So when we talk about strategies, we're open. We're open for strategies. So if you're looking to be a carpenter, a floor layer, or a millwright, it's no other place to go to get access to Section 3 work.
I was going to ask Lakita, I know business development is an important piece of Section 3 as well. Are there any challenges that you know or anyone on the panel can speak towards? If I'm a resident and I want to start my own business, what challenges are there? And I know it's already tied to what you said, transportation, childcare, all of those things, but just wanted to ask if there was anything you wanted to add to that. And if not, no worries.
I would say that one of the major, if you asked me a few years ago, the largest challenge, I would have said access to capital. But the numbers are showing now that while access capital is still at the top, finding and keeping talent has also become a big problem. The lack of employees and the turnover and keeping good workers has become a major problem, a HR issue for most companies. But access to capital is still up there.
I want to say something real quick. One of the greatest challenges that we would find is corrupted elected officials. With corrupted elected officials, can't nothing righteous happen. With cheated in elected officials, can't nothing righteous happen. You can earmark money to the communities all day, but if they corrupt it, they will never get it. And this is why this room is not full with people. I want to say this. Contracts is one of the largest revenue streams of the 21st century. It's one of the safest revenue streams of the 21st century. If we was assessing contracts adequately, this would be an overflow in here. It would be no space to fill. So one of our greatest challenges is corrupted elected officials that's receiving that money.
Great. Thank you. Thanks everybody for sharing. Okay, we're gonna move into opportunities. So we've talked about challenges. Now we're gonna learn and hear a little more about some opportunities for collaboration and best practices. So I'm going to start off with Kathleen and Daphne. Can you please share about your partnership with the City of Flint related to Section 3, and how did that partnership start?
Thank you. So back in 2010, some years ago, Mott Community College was awarded a grant through the United States Department of Labor called Pathways Out of Poverty. That was a 3-year initiative that allowed us to train residents in building construction, green construction, energy conservation, and road construction. Right around the same time, the City of Flint had received dollars for these HUD projects for Section 3, so it made sense for the City of Flint to approach the college, Workforce and Economic Development specifically, to be the clearinghouse for individuals to be Section 3 certified, because we were training the workers that didn't have the skill set to do the job. So we could certify individuals while they were in training, and upon completion of their program, streamline them into these Section 3 opportunities. We were also working very closely with the Genesee County Land Bank, and they were participating heavily in Section 3. So that collaboration made a lot of sense really as far as the City of Flint and Mott Community College are concerned relative to Section 3. And then specific to Youth Build, I'm going to hand it to my colleague Daphne to talk about that.
I'm back. The best partnership and the best outcomes for the youth bill connected to our Section 3 is being able to prepare our youth to be successful, to moving forward and connecting with the City of Flint and the housing. And so we do that by making sure that they have a full understanding of the expectations of the program and the outcomes. We make sure that we focus on the academic recovery, meaning we want them to make sure that they obtain their GED. Some young adults come and they've stopped out. Well, we want to re-engage them to make sure that they've obtained their GED, first of all. Even if they don't complete the program, they have obtained their GED, which is going to continue to open the door for them where it didn't in the past. Along with that, of course, our trades, where we're pretty unique because we also offer, under our Youth Build program, construction, welding, and CNA. So we have a plethora of career pathways that these young adults can re-engage and be successful. We offer the real world application, so they get a 6 to 8 week work experience, paid work experience, so that once they have the classroom, we're able to put them with our partners to get that experience from them. And then nine out of 10 times they are employed by that partner, specifically our Section 3 partners. We offer program incentives. It is very hard, and I understand that there are some other concerns. However, once you get an 18 to 24-year-old that says, I'm ready to change, I'm ready to do something different, then we have to make sure that we keep them engaged. We have to make sure that we remove the barriers that they have. We have to make sure that we change their mindset so that they understand if you're ready to change, we got you. If you want to get your GED, we have different opportunities and different incentives to make sure that they stay focused and complete. As a matter of fact, in one of our recent construction programs, a young man came in determined, had a baby on the way. He said, Ms. Daphne, I got to do it. I have to do this. I am becoming a father. I didn't have a father. I want to make sure I do it differently. I need my GED. What else can you do for me, Ms. Daphne? Oh, come on, baby. You're going to get your GED, you're going to get enrolled in this construction class, and you're going to complete this construction. You're going to be MC3 certified, and then we're going to get you a job. But you got to get that GED first. He got that GED, ladies and gentlemen, in 3 weeks. That showed that he was committed. He was committed. And so my staff and I, we do a holistic. We love on them. We encourage them. We inspire them. We let them know you're not by yourself. You might have been by yourself 3 months ago. But you have the support now, which is absolutely necessary with these young adults in that 18 to 24-year-old. We remove the barriers. Financially, we're able to support them through the program And then also we provide leadership, mentoring, and literacy, financial literacy training. So once they get that money, they know how to save and make the best out of the money that they obtain.
Thank you so much.
I know you mentioned barriers. Let me say this real quick, specifically for my young people. Do you know who LeBron James is? How many years has he played in the NBA? Okay. Do you know who Michael Jordan is? How many years did he play in the NBA? About 15 years? Okay, so 15 plus 22, let's just call it 20, right? 35. How much is LeBron James worth? Hold. No. How much is he worth? Young man, come on, talk to me. How much is he worth? About, let's just call it, he's worth about $2 billion. How much is Michael Jordan worth? 3. That's $5 billion. Okay? Okay, so let's just call it 5. Can we say 5? Can we agree with 5 billion? 35 years they've been playing basketball collectively, right? There is a 38-year-old young black man who has a government contract. Listen to me. It's for $13 billion every year. That's what you can get with being a Section 3 business. You get government contracts, and if you live, do you live in like Herman Gardens? Where do you live? They live in where do you live? Oh, the Brewsters. Come on, man. Come on, man. That's why. Listen, they can contract with you right now. The Housing Commission can contract with you right now to cut grass, to do snow removal. That can happen today. Now, when you talk about like roofing and things like that, yeah, you do need to go to different things like that. But the point is, you can get a lawnmower, you can get a shovel right now and get a contract with the Brewsters, and I guarantee you, you'll make enough money to hire all your friends, all your family members. You could be able to pass down a business to your children's children. You'll have generational wealth. This is what we're talking about right now because HUD has hundreds of billions of dollars that they mismanage. They have a budget that is humongous, and nobody ever talks about this. But we're telling you, in this church, in the presence of God, you have the opportunity right now, today, to begin to contract with HUD so you can have generational wealth. Do you understand? And that's the most important thing. You got it? All right.
Great, thank you, Pastor Sewell. Before I ask the next question, I do want to let folks know that all these communities that do receive HUD funding have to put together an annual action plan, and they have to have public hearings. So every year, every community that receives HUD funding has open community meetings where you can go and give a voice to how you want that money spent. That is open and available to you, okay? It's called the Annual Action Plan. Every community has that. The city of Detroit, every single community that receives HUD funding has to have these community meetings. Okay? So I just want to make sure everybody knew that, and everybody not know that. Okay, my last question, and then we're going to hand it over to the audience, because I know people have lots of questions for this amazing panel here. Anyone on the panel want to share about suggestions of how grantees, contractors, or workforce partners can collaborate more effectively to ensure that job training opportunities are reaching the intended groups that need this? Anyone want to share how we can collaborate better?
So I'll just share here. I think, again, to reiterate the point, there are a lot of resources here right on this stage. And you heard a few of us, we talk together pretty regularly. But I'll still say that there is a disconnect between what we know and the resources that we exist and what the residents know and what you all need to operate and be able to be fully successful in your own careers and in your own lives. And so one thing that I absolutely support, which is the way that the Detroit at Work system operates, is on a messaging kind of cascade. So the first one is a each one, reach one cascade. So everybody in this room, you found out about something, tell one other person. And Detroit is a city of word of mouth. We know that. We talk to each other. And so if all of us would do that, if we just tell one person about a new resource that we have learned about, that would help close the gap. The second is around our businesses and our employers, big to small, all stepping up to do the same thing. Your employees are no longer just working for you, they're living in a community. And so sharing with them the resources that you know about that are gonna help them as individuals helps your business at the same time. The third is, of course, our continued partnership with organized labor. It's a lot of them, y'all. And those are great job opportunities. You can go off and be an entrepreneur. You can get some of these contracts. You can work for somebody else. You can have a couple side hustles. It's a good pathway to go down. And then lastly, we can't forget the importance of our community partners and particularly our faith-based organizations. No matter what, Detroit is a city that is 80% black, and we get most of our information from our churches, from our ministers. That's who we trust. And so as long as larger community understands that we're reaching out to not only a 180 Church, but also to a Cody Rouge Community Action Alliance or to an Eastside Community Network, these resources will continue to be able to grow and we'll be able to share better. Because to be honest, here at the Grass Tops, we talk. It's how do we get the information out to the world in a better way? And I think that's the opportunity that we have.
Thank you, Dana.
And I just want to piggyback off that really quickly. As much as we at the top, we talk, and even probably in the middle, we talk as well. But I just want to really empower and encourage every person that's sitting in here to believe that whatever room that has a door, open it and walk through it. Because too often, I hear young people say, well, I heard about this resource, but I didn't think it was for me. I heard about this opportunity, but I didn't think I could go there because it didn't seem like it was for me. Or perhaps you see a brand new building being built in your neighborhood and never walked through the doors because you thought it wasn't for you, when in fact we built it specifically for you, right? So I want every person in here to understand that as much as we can sit and say, what are the pain points, what are the sticking points from the top end or the resources or the companies or the workforce development providers, but also everybody in here needs to understand everything that we do is for y'all. Walk through the door. Just try.
In regards to collaboration, just a couple things. You know, my perspective is from the state initiative, and the one thing I would say is looking at the Detroit housing department and the local level here. I would encourage you to be engaged with Detroit at Work. There are some great national programs. For example, in New York City, the housing, the HUD, the local HUD in New York City works with the Brooklyn Workforce Development Board. They jointly work together. The Workforce Board is a conduit, is a pipeline to say, we have young workers, we have people that are interested in starting their own business, and they serve as a pipeline. Los Angeles does a great thing as well, similar working. So I would say, how can community partners, the local housing development authority, how can you, if you're doing it right now, great, how can you expand it? If you're not, working with your local workforce board, working with your labor organizations. And then from a state perspective to our federal HUD workers, you know, the statement was the billions of dollars that HUD invest in each and every state. Department of Labor invests billions of dollars. But we're not connected at the federal level. Can we get connected at the federal level and say, Department of Labor's putting in money, HUD's putting in money, don't recreate the wheel. We are the workforce system. Detroit at Works, the Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity, we can work together and leverage our strengths and ensure that individuals in the communities are the ones that benefit from these investments. And they get a career, they get a business, and then I love the generational wealth. So I would love to see more collaboration with the local housing unit, with the local workforce board, and the other local labor organizations. And at the federal level, maybe let's mandate that there's cooperation in board, in agreements, in plans. We all have to submit a plan to the federal government. How are we working together in ensuring that we are leveraging these dollars and benefiting the communities as they are intended?
Well, clap it up, yeah. What we found in Flint is that we needed to break down the silos. And so we had two primary corroboration. God, I tear that room up every. Thank you, y'all. It was a good partnership. By centralizing our digital portals, where there's a standard dashboard. So when we as a grantee or the contracts come through, then the contractors post a job, and then we as the workforce division, we enter in the students and the persons that are ready for those jobs. Therefore, it's all going through one central location. And then holding regular meetings to be able to share what's going on, what's coming down the pipe, how can the work from my community college work with the city of Flint to say, hey, this is what's coming, can you support this, will you support this, and how, as she was sharing, have that plan. So we removed a little bit of it. It's working great. You want some?
Well, I guess if we're running out of time, I asked the team member to come and stand up. Everyone, his name is Anthony Lewis. He covers the SBA's Wayne County territory. And he's brought copies of our Small Business Resource Guide. So if you're looking to start, grow, expand, or recover a business that may have been dormant, this will take you through steps of how to start a business, the people to reach out to. It lists our resource partners, so before you leave, make sure you get a copy.
Thank you, guys. So I know we're running out of time. If you could 1 minute tell folks how they can get access to the resources. Do they go to the website? If you can run down the table, starting with Dana, Kathleen, and Daphne. We'll have Leah share how to get connected with her organization, and then Lakita just shared. So Stephanie too. If you want to start, Dana, how can folks get connected?
Thank you so much. And particularly for this room, I also want to stress Detroit at Work is the partner for anyone who is on public benefits that now has a work requirement. So if you got family members or if you yourself are on SNAP, if you're a PATH participant, anything else, MDHHS is telling you got to do something, find one of our offices. I want to stress that as much as we can. The two ways to get in touch with us are either our website, DetroitAtWork.com. It's not an @ sign. DetroitAtWork.com. Or our phone number where you can get to anybody is 313-962-WORK. 313-962. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. As far as Mott Community College in Flint is concerned, I do realize we are in the Detroit area, but if you have friends, family in Flint, if you yourself are interested in coming up our way, please reach out. Mott Community College Workforce and Economic Development has a plethora of resources to support training, employment, Section 3 opportunities. But you can contact us directly, myself or Daphne, or visit our website at www.mcc.edu.
So if you're interested in becoming a carpenter, floor layer, and millwright, if you want to have a starting wage at least $25 an hour with a full package at $45 an hour, including pension. Who get a pension? How many jobs got pensions? We got them. Including a pension, 2 annuities, and you want to go to school for free and work while you're actually getting, work while you're actually going to school to get paid to be in class as well, go to hammer9.com, www.hammer9.com. You go there in the right corner, you click the apply button. We also have pre-apprenticeships for folks that may not be ready for our apprenticeship. We also have a summer camp opportunity for folks that are 14 to 17. If you're in the Southeast Michigan area, you want to be a carpenter, floor layer, millwright, go to hammer9.com.
Stephanie?
Yep, for state resources, again, echo my partners. Some of our funding flows directly to them. Go to michigan.gov/workforce. So Michigan spelled out, .gov/workforce. As Daphne talked about adult education, we think that's a critical first step, even if it's English as a second language, even if you say, well, I have my diploma, if there's some skills, some math and reading that you think you need to brush up on, or you know someone who needs to, you go to michigan.gov/workforce, you put in your zip code, it'll pull up the closest adult education provider, free to no cost for you to get and work on your high school diploma. I also want to highlight, if you're a veteran, you go to that website. There's resources for veterans. And also, if you or you know someone that might be interested in this work that has a disability, my team also administers the vocational rehabilitation programs. We're, again, removing barriers, providing training, even providing startup cost. If you are that person that are saying, I'm going to start my business up, but there's some things I need to know, those are the programs these are investments, your taxes at work. And so michigan.gov/workforce.
Thank you. So now we have about 5 minutes for questions. And if we don't get to everyone's question, please scan this QR code, because the information that you want to share, the questions that you have, is going to be shared with HUD afterwards. So now I'm going to turn it over to Chris.
Yes. Ladies, in all due respect, I think you guys are missing the point. You know, I see you guys with y'all great titles and y'all position, but what Ramon and Pastor Sue was saying is something totally different than what you guys saying. Seem like you guys are pushing us more to be workers versus the actual contractors. So again, you guys have dropped the ball, and let me give you an example. In all due respect, Ms. Gordon, I don't know who's coming through those doors that you say coming through those doors with carpentry and millwright, but I do know this. I can physically see when the Ford Field was being built, Little Caesars Arena, constructions on these were, and they are not the majority of the people that lives in the city of Detroit. So that doesn't work. These phones, these websites that y'all getting, people are not replying, and you guys keep saying this. I keep hearing the same buzzword for 52 years. When will you guys ever have any accountability and say, listen, we dropped the ball and or resign and hire the people from the community to represent them that's going to really put these young brothers, since we all dedicating y'all time to these young brothers, they don't want to be workers, they want to be contractors.
So when we say come in as an apprentice, no one ever said that you couldn't journey out and become a contractor. But again, we know that some of the best contractors were apprentices and journeymen because they know the work through and through, and they were trained at a very high level to be able to do the work. And in addition to that, those union members are now connected to a whole network to help facilitate them through the signatory contracting process. Again, we train 600 people in Southeast Michigan. While our school is in Detroit, we don't only train Detroiters, and we can't sit here and say that we're gonna only train Detroiters. So when you look at a project that have 100 apprentices on it, you say there's no people of color, no Detroit residents. Well, all of the Detroit residents, for one, aren't people of color, but for two, the ratios are there. We bring in 40% of every class are Detroit residents. The numbers are there. So whether I can't, convince you of it or not, but the statistics are there. I'm there every day. I see the classrooms. So, but again, if you want to be a carpenter, floor layer, a millwright, please come to the Carpenters Union. We have some of the best resources. We're connecting people. We're building partnerships on a grand level to make sure that the people that come through our doors are successful.
Hello, young man. I understand your feelings, and I've been following this very closely. I'm a business owner. I own a transportation business and a detail business. I'm 70 years old. I've been doing this for a long time. My father had businesses back in the day. My father had businesses back in the day. So this young lady on the end, I think Miss Henderson, she gave me a package from this guy. I'm here to get financing for my business. When we get finance, I'm gonna need drivers, I need detail people that I can train, and we're gonna be in contact with these young folks too. So this is the start. We all here to listen. We gotta start, we gotta get together. Don't be at odds with nobody. We gotta come together. I've been in this town for 70 years, and I know. It's in my bloodline. Thank you.
Mrs. Beckhorn, one of your last comments had to do with the chasm and lack of continuity between government organizations. As a leader in career and technical education, there's a chasm between labor and education. I'm wondering, is there a vehicle, a consistent vehicle, that is used to communicate access to Section 3 resources that goes down into K-12? Because today, this was a lot of new learning for me, and I'm at every activity. I'm out there trying to be active and connecting the community with resources. So I guess I'm wondering, is there something that already exists that we can help promote and encourage throughout Detroit to try to help young people start that planning? One of the things we're doing is we're starting in kindergarten, right? The whole middle school, high school thing just doesn't produce results. So what is it that we can do a better job of to try to use to educate, as we have this carousel of employees as well, to be able to, try to inspire young people to get to that contractor opportunity? Thank you.
Yeah, great
We have
question.
one more comment from David, and then we are going to close, and we'll pass it over to Dewey, and then Pastor, if you wanted to close us out, that would be great.
How you doing? I wanted to, it's pretty much towards you. I heard you saying like you be having a lot of students that's coming in and out of your class, but do you even teach your students how to get those contracts or to become a proper contractor or to have the resources to become those contractors or a subcontractor?
So, no, I don't. That's not my job. We do have 14 business agents in our Southeastern hub that works with contractors or anyone that is interested in becoming a signatory contractor to sign them on. So my job is not to fill that gap to make someone a signatory contractor, but we have several men and women that are there to support our apprentices, our journeymen, and anyone that walks in off the street that says, I'm qualified and I'd like to become a signatory contractor. Absolutely, we do have that resource.
Okay, thank you.
Let me piggyback off of that real quick, and I know we're closing, but if you, want to become a contractor, the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, and the federal government have people who specifically can work with you to make that happen in terms of going after contracts. For the government, we have Apex accelerators. Pardon me?
The county too.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So the resources are there for you. Once you finish the training, that's not her job to help you find contracts. Someone else can take that next step. So those people are in place at the city level, county, state, and federal government.
All right, so now I'm gonna pass it to Dewey to close us off, and then Dewey will pass it over to the pastor to close us out. And I wanna thank our panelists for taking the time out to speak. And this was a wonderful panel, so thank you for your participation in the audience as well. Dewey?
Thank you, Tiara. So it's been a long day, and I really appreciate everybody being here. Just to review, we set this up as kind of the morning session was geared towards the contractors. The afternoon session was geared towards Section 3 employees. And yeah, there's some crossover, but we thought that was the best way to deliver the content, so it was most pertinent to the audience. So just so we're clear on that. But again, we were here to listen and learn. We learned a lot. We learned that, of course, there's bureaucracy and red tape that makes life difficult. The current administration wants to change that as much as possible. Of course, we have to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money. So in order to doing that, you do have to have some rules. You do have to have some bureaucracy. But what I'm hearing now and what I'm seeing in real time is that it's just too much. And when you have so much that it inhibits the goal you're trying to accomplish, that ain't good. So we got to fix that. It's great that we have all these resources here today. There's many diverse resources. I know the state of Michigan certainly has a lot of them to take advantage of. But again, to be a Section 3 employee, communicate with our Detroit HUD office if you have any questions or issues how to accomplish that. Basically, on the website, I know the website has a whole lot of different pages and things and so on, but you'll be able to find one page that you have to complete to self-certify that you would be a Section 3 employee. And when you do that, then you're going to be able to be reached out to more of these contractors who are going to be aware that you're out there and provide these opportunities. That's what this is all about. And before we're done here too, I really want to thank Pastor Sewell for making this great facility available to us. He is incredibly, as you all know better than me, what I see is he's incredibly engaged with his community and only wants the best for them. And that's what this is all about too, to learn and educate so that everyone has the ability to live the lifestyle that they would like to in this wonderful United States of America. So Pastor Sewell, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Dewey. Okay, young man, 56. I want you to do some math. 56, you ready? Okay. $56 billion. That's the SBA. Who's here from the SBA? That's the annual budget. Do you know what that means? That means it comes in every single year. They don't have to build anything. They don't have to sell anything. It's coming in every single year. Now do this number. Now add that on to 43 billion. 56 billion plus 43 billion. Guess who that is? That's from HUD. See the guy that just stood up there? That's HUD. That's how much money they get. They don't have to build anything. They don't have to sell anything. And we're not talking about congressionally what was voted on 2 years ago. That's another 185 billion. But we're not talking about that number. We're talking about the two numbers this year. That money is coming to their organizations this year, this fiscal year, okay? Now let me give you the next one. Who works for Lori? Department of Labor? Chavez? Okay, she's 9 billion. So what is it all together? 108. It'd be better if it was 180, but that's okay. 108. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about $108 billion that the agencies up here have access to. That's your money for you to be successful. If you want to access that money, call me. This is my personal cell phone number. I'm not giving you a website. I'm going to give you my personal cell phone number because I know Kelly Loeffler. I know her, I know Scott Turner, and I know Lori. I got her cell phone number. We're going to make sure that this happens and that our people come out of poverty. Are you hearing me? Take my number down. It's 248. Anybody can take it down. 755-1896. 248-755-1896. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we know that enough has been enough. There are resources that have been given to our people that never got to us. And now we're living in poverty, and we have crime that has become a culture in our community. Our young men are spinning in the hood, they're sliding in the hood, and they're collecting hats to kill folks in the hood. That's happening right now on these streets. There is fentanyl touching us right here in our community, and we've come to say enough is enough. Heavenly Father, we pray in the name of Jesus that you would do what you do so well. You said in your word that you open doors that no man can shut, and you shut doors that no man can open, and you've opened up a door with this administration, and we say thank you for allowing HUD to come. Thank you for allowing SBA to come. Thank you, oh God, in the name of Jesus, for allowing the Department of Labor to come, and we believe that we have received from them everything that belongs to us, every contract, every opportunity, oh God, the ability to create generational wealth. Just like Elon Musk has tapped into government contracts and has become a billionaire, so it is we in this community are tapping in today, all for your glory, all for your honor, and all for your praise. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Come on, put your hands together and give your great God great glory. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much. God bless you.